What's the worst trouble your kid ever got into that secretly made you proud? I had to take my daughter to the hospital that day, and I couldn't stop laughing. I showed up at her school 10 minutes early to pick her up. That turned into 20 minutes of waiting, which was already weird. Kids were pouring out, parents were leaving, and Paige never came out, so I went inside. Instead of finding her classroom, her teacher found me. Mrs. Vivian had that look, the tight mouth, the careful tone, the look that says your kid did something. There was an incident today, she said. I sighed. I was already bracing myself. Paige hurt another student badly, she continued. The Henderson boy has a head injury. Here we go. John Henderson was infamous. Every parent knew his name. He was the biter. Paige had come home 3 separate times that semester with bite marks on her arms, deep purple bruises with clear teeth imprints. Each time I reported it. Each time the response was the same. We're handling it. Boys will be boys. John has behavioral challenges. My daughter, who once cried because she stepped on an ant, had apparently now injured him badly enough to make him cry. Mrs. Vivian walked me down the hallway, shaking her head. I'm really shocked by Paige's behavior today. Violence is never the answer, regardless of the circumstances. John's parents are already here. They're considering pressing charges, possibly a lawsuit. My hands were shaking. Paige had never hurt anyone in her life. She once apologized to a tree for breaking a branch. When we reached the office, I saw her through the glass door. She was sitting in a chair too big for her, feet dangling, uniform rumpled. Her braids were coming undone, and there was blood on her white sleeve. Not splatter, not a smear, actual dried blood. She looked up when I entered, and instead of crying, instead of fear, she looked proud. Tell your father what happened, Mrs. Vivian said. Before Paige could speak, the door flew open. John's parents stormed in. Mr. Henderson was red with rage. Mrs. Henderson clutched John's hand as he held an ice pack to his head. This is the violent little brat who attacked my son, Mr. Henderson shouted, pointing at Paige. She slammed him into a wall. He could have a concussion. We should be calling the police. I opened my mouth to respond, but Paige stood up first. She rolled up her sleeve. Fresh bite marks. Angry, deep, several teeth had broken skin. Blood still seeping through the bandage the nurse had wrapped around her arm. He bit me first, Paige said quietly. But that's not why I pushed him. The room went still. Mrs. Vivian stepped forward carefully. John had cornered another student, she said. A kindergarten girl behind the playground equipment. Paige nodded. Rosie is 5, she said. She has leg braces. She couldn't run away. Mrs. Vivian continued. John was angry because Rosie bumped into him. He was blocking her. She was crying. Paige stepped between them. John bit me when I told him to stop, Paige said. I didn't move. She didn't cry. She didn't scream. She just stood there, Mrs. Vivian said, protecting Rosie. John tried to get around her. That's when Paige shoved him into the wall. I looked at John's parents, then at my daughter's arm, then at the ice pack. Show me where he's injured, I said. Mrs. Henderson hesitated, then moved the ice pack. A small bump, barely visible. Now look at my daughter's arm, I said, my voice sharper than I expected. That's significantly worse. I paused, then added calmly, you know I'm a lawyer. What your son did qualifies as felony assault on a minor. That wasn't true, but it worked. Mrs. Henderson went pale. He didn't mean to hurt anyone. He has issues. We're working on it. We all stared at Paige's arm. I took her to the clinic to be safe. When I brought her back to school the next week, John wasn't there. Turns out his parents were so terrified of being sued, they pulled him out of the school entirely. The funny part, I'm not even a lawyer. But my daughter learned something important that day, and so did the school.